Today's Q&A. I'm Dr. Janine. Great to have you here. Please say hello and where you're from. And following up from yesterday's show, of course, we had the Dr. Janine show yesterday, Tuesday at 11 a.m. So even if you missed the show, we can review some of the topics that we went through yesterday. We did talk about our stomach and H. pylori, stomach ulcers, and what we can do naturally about that, which is amazing to know that there is some research, which I shared yesterday in the show, as to being able to get rid of that H. pylori. We also talked about detoxing and cleansing a little bit, helping to clean up that microbiome when we've got those unwanted organisms. And we also talked about supplements. And there are a lot of supplements out there, as we know. And when we look at the fine print, and this is something that I encourage everybody to do, start to really read your labels on all of your supplements. Look at excipients or non-medicinal ingredients. And what that may show you is that there are some of these compromising ingredients. One that we talked about yesterday was Polysorbate 80, and of course some of the drawbacks of ingesting that. It's also found in other food things, which we definitely want to avoid. Hello, nice to see you. Vincent is here, hello in Germany. And Mafarzini, is it Mafarniz? Did I get that right? Nice to have you here. Upam in Abuja, Nigeria, hello, great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in today. Mia Leash in Miami, great to have you here. Janine, Shelley, Shanu, Sandy, Jolenta Dixon from Durham's. I'm not sure where that is. Great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Jazz Lover, thank you for tuning in today. And for those of you who were here yesterday, if there are any questions, of course, specifically that you have based on what we talked about yesterday, please let me know. Put it in the comment section. I didn't get to everybody's questions yesterday. It was really busy, and we had so many new viewers that tuned in yesterday, which was amazing. So welcome on in. And if you do have those questions, please make sure that you're putting them in the comment section if I missed your question yesterday, or if you have a new question as well. Of course, we also talked a little bit about uterine fibroids yesterday, and I shared some of my protocol. We talked about the lymphatic system and how to drain the lymphatics. Beyond just doing my protocol for the actual drainage and massage that you use, a self-massage that you can do, we talked about some other tips that will help to move those lymphatics, especially if you have some water retention. We talked about that as well. And I talked about some of my favorite natural supplements and ingredients, herbal medicines in combination that you can take together to actually feed your joints. So if you have arthritis pain, whether that's rheumatoid, osteoarthritis, we talked about joint pain yesterday as well. And we were in the beauty set as well yesterday, and we did some face taping with the silicone scar tape. So I hope somebody tried that last night. Let me know, put a 1 in the comments if you did your face taping last night, which is amazing. Okay, so Alicia's asking, chronic fatigue syndrome, well, always sort of getting at the root cause as to why there is chronic fatigue. Was there a stressful event that happened, which is very, very much correlated to chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia? So there was some kind of, big stressful event. That could be a car accident, death of a loved one, loss of a job, breakup. It could be anything. And often that is when the nervous system sort of turns a little bit, and not in a good way. And often we look at the bio and your biodiversity of your gut microbiome, like what was happening before that sort of set your body up to sort of turn a corner that wasn't so healthy. And that's true for a lot of diseases as well, I believe. So here's the thing. With fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, are your circadian rhythms in sync with nature? And it's so simple. That's why I wrote a whole book about it now. It's called The Lost Medicine. We can show you that in a second. And all about syncing your circadian biology with the light and dark cycle of the day. Okay, here's the book. And this is something that it's a great read for anybody who's learning to, get healthier again by syncing your own biology, because we have all these clock mechanisms in our cells, in our brain, in all of our organs. They need to be in sync with nature. And most of us get it wrong because we have artificial lighting, we don't get outside enough, we have a lot of EMF exposure. So these are all the topics that I share in my book. And very specifically for chronic fatigue, you've got to get your energy levels back up. Is it related to cortisol? Is it related to leptin? Is it related to your insulin? Is it related to, your imbalance, your discoordination with your natural environment? Because most of us live in an unnatural environment if you think about it. So that is something that I encourage you to learn more about, Alicia. And so check out some of my videos that you can probably search up chronic fatigue as well, and or just fatigue energy levels in my content, and then you'll find some videos there as well. Okay, Ms. Bev, parasite cleansing protocol. Okay, yes, now specifically, we talked about CABO, okay, so CABO. And these herbal medicines is what I start our elimination phase. So when we're doing a protocol, we start with this, and this is all in one formula: cloves, artemisia, black walnuts, and oregano. We start with this as the elimination phase. Then we follow that up with the detox phase, and then we're using different herbal medicines to actually help to encourage the internal organs, so the emunctories, and we've got major ones like the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, of course, the skin, lymphatics, the blood system. And so we want to use with the follow-up detox as your second phase of the protocol is to encourage that toxin relief and release, because what happens with the intestinal bugs, the parasites, the worms, the candida, is that they give off toxins. So we want to support those organs. Let's take a look at the other herbal medicines really quickly that we talked about yesterday that help with the detox process. And this is your full body detox. Now, yesterday I didn't get to it, so let's go. Does everybody want to hear this? Give me a thumbs up if you want me to go through the different attributes of all the different herbal medicines and how this is working for your different internal organs. Yes? Tosha is asking if you take the detox. So you're starting with the CABO, and then you take a break off the CABO. After the first 2 weeks on the CABO, that's when you start the detox. Now, when you start the detox, you stay on the detox, and ideally I'd like you to be on this detox protocol for 2 months. So for 60 days, once you start the detox, you continue. The only one that you're cycling is the CABO. The CABO is on and then off for 2 weeks and then on again for 2 weeks. Okay, you want me to go through the herbal medicines? I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, thank you. And thank you for all my new people that are watching today. Thank you for the follows and the shares as well. I know I love it when you are able to share the lives, and I appreciate that if you hit that share button. Thank you for all the love coming in. And I see, of course, all of those hearts coming in as well. Okay, so dandelion, a great herbal medicine. The root is great for the liver. The leaves, the dandelion leaves, are great for the kidneys. Okay, so for kidney detox, supporting the kidneys, the leaves are actually a little bit of a diuretic. Burdock root, great for the lungs, so great for lung detoxification. We all live, when we talk about lung detox, so the first thing you may think of, okay, I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do anything like that, my lungs should be fine. Well, where do you live? Depending on where you live in the world, it doesn't really matter anymore, because there's so many toxins in the air, as we know, that this is a big problem. And that's why doing regularly, this herbal protocol to actually address these toxins is something that I recommend. Okay, so burdock, great for the blood as well, good blood cleanser. Chlorella, a blue-green algae which helps to trap heavy metal toxins. It has that chlorophyll, which we know is super healthy, and the chlorella is known to help with supporting with some accessory nutrients that are naturally occurring, like your B vitamins are in chlorella, which often people have a deficiency in. This is just going to support your energy systems as you're doing that detox at the same time. Milk thistle, we know, is great for liver detox, but also for kidney regeneration and liver regeneration. So it has that ability. There's so many different studies now. If you look up milk thistle, silymarin is the active component of that milk thistle, really supportive for your proper liver function. Helps to cleanse the blood a little bit as well, which is great, and the lymphatics. Horsetail herbal medicine. It's not a horse's tail. You can see it looks like a horsetail. That's why it's called horsetail. But this is great as a kidney detoxer. It works like a little bit of a diuretic, so is like a water pill. So if you hold on to excess fluid retention, that's really important. Parsley as well does the same thing for the kidneys. Cascara helps to gently get things going in the digestive tract. So it's a little bit of a laxative, but at the right dosage, in the right milligram amount, then this is a great way just to get those bowels moving naturally. And of course, bearberry for the kidneys, for the lymphatics, great for the blood as well. So that in combination is your full body detox. Lisa, great question. How do you know if you have parasites? Most people have parasites. Okay, that's the reality. Now, how well your body is actually dealing with them, we don't know. Now, if there are different testing, methods that can be done, first place to start, you go to your doctor and say, can we do some testing for parasites? Sometimes the answer will be yes, sometimes the answer will be no. And, and just because now, let's say your doctor agrees and you get a stool sample done, just because it comes back negative doesn't mean that it's negative. And if anybody wants to hear the story, put a 1 in the comments if you want to hear the story about what's happened to a few of my patients over the years. More than one about parasites and testing. I can share that story in just a second. Okay, yes, it's Jess. You want to hear the story? Okay. So here's the thing. You can definitely be tested, right? And here where I live in this, in Ontario in Canada, it's standard to do, they're looking for, I think, up to probably 15, 20 different parasites in a stool sample in our regular mainstream testing. Now, there's over 3,000 or more parasites that have been documented worldwide. So if it's not one of those 15, you can imagine that you'd get, the test comes back, you don't have parasites, but there's a lot more parasites than what they're testing for. So that's the first point. Now, it was actually my dental hygienist. So you can imagine, she's telling me the story. So I'm in the dental chair, I'm leaned back, she's cleaning my teeth. She's like, I gotta tell you the story. So she went and had that initial test in, our province done, came back, nothing was found. Now the doctor also sent the same piece of poop, sorry to be graphic, but the same piece of poop to another lab, and this was a more specialized lab where you had to pay for the testing to be done to see if there were parasites. Well, sure, it came back with 3 different parasites. So she went through a parasite cleansing protocol, and then she felt, and all her symptoms went away. She felt so much better. So that's what I'm saying. Parasite testing is not always depending on what type of test. Usually for the better test, you've got to pay for that. So definitely ask your practitioner about that. Thank you, A. Razvi. Thanks for following today. Great to have you here. Maybe you're here for the first time. So it is good to have you here. Helga has a question. Which is better, zinc citrate, chelate, glycinate? So I like a zinc bisglycinate. Zinc bisglycinate is my favorite type to take and making sure that it has an ionophore. So maybe, can I write on the board, guys? Let's go over here. This is a great question. And I love when very specific questions about this kind of thing come up, because yes, it is maybe that time of year that we're thinking about our immune systems, very protective against cells. That's why, a few years ago, zinc supplementation became very popularized. If anybody did their research, they knew that it would protect against a certain thing. But a zinc bisglycinate is my preferred type to take as a supplement. And there's a few reasons for that, because it's well absorbed, but it needs a channel, it needs an ionophore. So if you're gonna think of your cell, and let's say you're taking a zinc gluconate or an amino acid chelate. I know that you had mentioned a few other ones, but that zinc has a hard time getting into the cell, okay? So that doesn't happen very well. So the bisglycinate is better, it's bound to glycine, so we know that it has some better absorption, but still zinc needs an ionophore, it needs a channel, so it needs something. And the channel that I like, and I did a lot of research on this when I was looking at zinc supplementation, and the channel that we want is actually called an ionophore. Okay, so that ionophore is something that we need something to open up that channel so that that zinc can be properly absorbed. This is often one of the reasons I believe that people they feel really sick and nauseous when they take the wrong type of zinc, because it's not being properly absorbed. So we need that ionophore. So a great ionophore is quercetin. Okay, so quercetin is a natural antihistamine. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's an anti-inflammatory. And when you get the quercetin from the right source, the Sephora japonica plant, it's a flower, that quercetin is properly extracted. Now this is going to make all the difference in terms of that zinc being properly absorbed into the cell. You also need the right ratio of your zinc to copper, so that's another thing to consider. So zinc and copper, they compete for absorption. So that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you're getting that right ratio of your zinc and your copper. Great question. Love that question. Activated charcoal. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's a binder. There are other binders as well. If you take diatomaceous earth for parasites, do you still need to do this daily? Yes, I would say you still, the diatomaceous earth or any other type of binder or activated charcoal, they're binding like a fiber. They're binding what you're killing and moving it out. It's not enough to actually stimulate the organs like the liver, the blood, the lymphatics, and all these, the lungs, the skin, to help with that detox process as well. So in my opinion, you've got to actually use something to support the other organs with that detox process as you're killing off the toxins. If you don't want to get symptoms, and that's the thing, a lot of people, when you do a detox or a cleanse for parasites, candida, you feel sick. It's called the Herxheimer reaction. So you want to, sort of mitigate the risk against feeling and having that the reaction as part of the detox. And that's why it's important to be able to do that with supporting the organs with the full body detox. All right, well, Alexa, great question. What are some major symptoms of parasites? Okay, let's have my followers help me here. Should we go through symptoms of parasites? It's not something that we talked about yesterday in the show, but there are common ones. So I want my team of followers, everybody who has watched me for a while, let's go through all the symptoms of having parasites. Okay, everybody, put it in the comments. Where are we gonna start here? What's probably the most common symptom of having parasites? Yes, let's see. Hello. Nice to have you here. Thank you for tuning in today. Yes, bloating. Bloating is coming up as probably the number one, bloating. So yes, bloating definitely is a big symptom of having parasites and candida. What's another one? Anybody else? Okay, headaches are coming in. Yes, headaches can be. It's not one of my top 5, I would say, however, what I've seen clinically. But it can be related, definitely. Yes, fatigue, so tired. And pain, stomach. Yes, somebody had this one. I'm not going to say it. Itchy, oh, yeah, I will say it. Itchy behind. That's a big one, okay? What's another one? I'm going to put this out there. Brain fog is a big one as well. Ooh, good. Sugar cravings, brain fog, sugar cravings. Yeah, oh, yeah, everybody's good. Sugar cravings. I hope this isn't because everybody has the symptoms that we know that this so well. What else, what did I miss? Oh, skin issues. So eczema, psoriasis is big with symptoms of parasites. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about all the symptoms of parasites. This is all my followers. You are giving me all of these. Doc Airline, I like that. That's a nice way to say it. Getting all of these answers in here. Yeah, a lot of people are saying eye floaters. I'm not sure if that's 100% not in eye floaters. I would say is somewhat related to, but it's possible. I mean, the parasites can be in the eyes, definitely. It's more rare. Aliza, anxiety. I like that one. Oh, yeah, somebody else said, who said that one? Low iron? Goija? And okay, here's one. I'm going to leave this space. Let's see if anybody can guess it from experience. All of what you're saying here is good. Diarrhea, stomach pain. We didn't put in chicken skin, Suraj. I would say can be more related to what's going on with vitamin deficiency. So vitamin C, I often think of vitamin A deficiency with the chicken skin, especially if we're talking the back of the arms. And that can also be an omega-3 fatty acid deficiency and a thyroid issue. So that is kind of multifactorial. Hair loss, that's a good one. But the one that I'm thinking of here, it happens at night, commonly in children, and it has to do with, and it's not the itchy behind, what happens, okay, we have it. Yes, Anne, you got it. Oh, exactly. Okay, we're tuned in. You got it. Teeth grinding. All right, teeth grinding at night, definitely. And a white coating on the tongue from a Melinda. Yes, absolutely. Teeth, but this, Melinda. Oh, from you, okay, the Melinda. Said white coating on the tongue, amazing. Good job. Teeth grinding is a big one. Okay, so these are all great. That was fun. I didn't plan on doing that today. So if you want to screenshot that, can you even read? Okay, I'm going to stand back for a second. Can you even read that? Sorry. Yeah, it's not too bad. Anybody have? Yeah, it's okay. Maybe we'll make a proper list next time. But Teresa, yes, you had it as well. In terms of the teeth grinding, great. Buki had that as well. So this is amazing. Okay, thank you for tuning in. And Ahmed, thank you for the follow today. Great to have you here. So continuing on with, that parasite cleansing protocol, cleaning up that microbiome was then to do another elimination phase with the Cabo. And then step 4 was to support your good gut health. So what does that mean? Okay, all my followers, you know this. It's Mother Nature's prescription, which entails what? Of course, what is Mother Nature's prescription? Archie, hello in the Philippines. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here. Meds in Motion, hello. Great to have you here. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about the parasites. Okay, so Mother Nature's prescription. Yes, Kathy, of course. Thank you for tuning in today. Grounding, sun exposure, Alexa, getting out in the sun, absolutely, which is so important. Kai Kate has a great question. Blisters in the mouth. So if we're talking canker sores, look into your B12 status. B12 deficiency, very common correlation to having chronic canker sores. And that's an important one. And a lot of people have B12 deficiency, you don't even realize. Not so much always because of your diet and the fact that your diet is deficient, but perhaps because you're not getting out in the sun. And vitamin B12 is actually reactive. It's photobiomodulated, meaning that it's reactive to natural sunlight exposure. So another reason to follow Mother Nature's prescription, of course, and doing your grounding, getting your natural sunlight exposure. Karen as well. Good. Love to see that. Amazing. Okay, any other questions about what we talked about yesterday specifically? It is great to have. Oh, can we do a detox if you have gallstones? Always check with your doctor with any type of new protocol that you're doing for your health. But I would say yes, and I would say over the years, definitely I've had a lot of success with doing the right type of cleanse, of course, and detox and addressing gallstones. It can be actually really, really helpful. And again, it depends on what type of detox or cleanse that you're doing. We also yesterday did talk about the electrolyte drink recipe, and I wanted to show you this because we didn't have them out yesterday, but I wanted to show you really quickly, and the recipe as well. We talked about supporting proper hydration as part of some of our protocols that we've talked about. And if you've missed it previously, I gotta find one that I haven't used yet. Oh my goodness, there we go. We made the Electrolyte little drink packet. So if you missed that episode, it does exist. It is a separate video as well. So this is great, and you can see the recipe behind me. So you're gonna get, a big container of water, 2 cups of water or more. I mean, this is sort of my daily dosage for my electrolytes that I put into these little, pre-measured containers. And then we're using a water enhancer. You could use whatever you want to sweeten your water here, honey, maple syrup, sugar, like organic cane sugar, just a little bit, especially for athletes who do need a little bit of sugar. You don't always need to be like the low carb, low sugar. You need a little bit of that hydration with a bit of sugar to help to make sure that you're getting that proper absorption of your nutrients. But in this case, I shared a sugar-free option with the stevia or monk fruit you could do as well, and some magnesium. So the type of magnesium that I use, the Vitatree magnesium, it is actually tasteless and it disappears in the water, and it's a magnesium bisglycinate. And that's why it has super absorption. And that's why I choose to use this one or 2 capsules here, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, which gives you some potassium, another really important electrolyte. And of course, a little bit of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, that could be sea salt. And then you're mixing that up and putting each of those into your little pack. And then that is something that you dump in into your water. And it's something that is remarkable because it's one thing to drink enough water. It's another thing to make sure that your body's actually using it. And so that's important in terms of those electrolytes, to make sure that you are getting enough in there. All right, how long do you do the detox? Well, yeah, so doing the first 2, do we have the protocol up here? Can we show the first 2 weeks and then maybe we don't have it? Okay, so you start with the elimination phase with the Cabo is 2 weeks. Okay, so after that 2 weeks, this is when you start the full body detox. And ideally you stay on this for at least 6 weeks. Some people do 4. But because you're coming back now with the Cabo again, so you're taking a break. So you're starting here 2 weeks, then you start this, okay? So that now you're in your next 2 weeks. This is gonna continue for the 6 weeks on your detox. Just keep doing it, okay? Especially if it's your first time doing the full body detox, the whole cleansing protocol. Then after those first 2 weeks, I know it gets confusing, then you come back to this one again, because you've got to give those organisms, the less favorable ones, let's say, the intestinal worms, the parasites, their eggs, as well as the candida. You want to give that 2 week break because they do have their own life cycle. Then you want to hit them again in the elimination phase after that first 2 weeks. 2 weeks break, then you're coming back to that, okay? 2 weeks again on this, supporting, and you're still doing that detox. And then as you're doing this, you're supporting your good gut health. So again, Mother Nature's prescription, getting outside in the sun, the grounding, maybe probiotics, a binder. So we talked about, the activated charcoal is a binder. I like fiber, psyllium seed husk as a binder to help to draw whatever, even some of those attachments of some of those bugs on the intestinal wall, to ensure that they're coming off. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Great to have you all here today. Thank you for tuning in. And other questions that came in, do you get bad breath while detoxing? It's possible, especially if there's some bad bugs in the stomach. Then that can be related to bad breath. One of the herbal medicines as part of the full body detox was the parsley, which actually, when you're ingesting that, it actually can help to counteract the bad breath. So that is, if you're doing this way, then maybe that wouldn't happen, but it is possible. Ahmed, vitamin deficiency with bleeding gums. Vitamin C is the first thing I think of, okay? So Gary, yes, I still am on television. I'll be there next week, so you can tune in then. Thanks for asking, and Gary must be in Canada. So yeah, I'll be there next week. Anybody else? What is good for SIBO? Okay, Molly, I do have videos on SIBO. It's something that we've talked about in the live show, so you can look at the archives of the shows, also my videos, and just type in SIBO and my name and you're gonna find, even, if you do a Google search or whatever, you're gonna find those videos should pop up for you. And, cleaning up a lot of what we're talking about here is part of the protocol. So killing off the bad guys with the Cabo first, starting with can we show the Cabo really quickly? The cloves, oregano, Artemisia, black walnut. Okay, so starting with this as, your elimination phase, and then going and supporting the body with the full body detox is important. But with SIBO, it's really important, your meal time and your circadian biology. So remember, there's clocks. Let's go over to Lucy really quickly. If you haven't met Lucy before, it's not a person, it's it's Lucy, it's the model, Lucy, okay? So in the brain, of course, we have our master clock mechanism, this SCN, suprachiasmatic nucleus, and I actually did an interview, if you're interested, with the founder, the researcher who found the SCN, Dr. Mourid. So I interviewed him, amazing information about circadian biology, okay? So this major clock here is gonna set your circadian rhythms, and it's in tune with the light and dark of the cycles of the day, of course, natural sunlight exposure. Okay, so that clock is the master controller, if you will, in the hypothalamus, and then that's going to regulate your other clocks. Now with SIBO, oh, the stomach's missing. Okay, the stomach's over there. We have to go back over there. Lucy lost her stomach. Now with SIBO, and with our intestines, and of course our stomach, what we want to make sure is that all of these clocks that we have in the stomach and in the intestines, the small and large intestine, are in sync with, again, the light and dark cycle of the day. So, and even your microbiome is programmed by the light and dark cycle of the day. So if you see this is amazing. Thank you guys. Behind me, that master clock has to be sort of coordinating our other downstream clocks. That's really important. And that only happens if you get your circadian biology right. So that's something that, yeah, you definitely want to make sure you learn more about it. I've got a lot of tips about that, of course, in my book. But yeah, do check out my videos on SIBO, okay? And you're gonna learn more there. Of course, probiotics, eating the right diet, avoiding snacking is one of my tips as well. You don't want to snack between meals. That will mess up your migrating motor complex, your MMC. So yeah, you can learn more in my other videos. SL, getting rid of gas and bloating fast. Yeah, everything that I just said in terms of SIBO, I mean, that would apply to gas and bloating as well. And making sure that you're tending to your microbiome. That means, you know, getting out into nature is really important. Things like taking the right types of probiotics. I have two of my favorite strains, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium bifidum. If you want me to write those out, I could. Just let me know. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll write out my favorite strains of probiotics. And what to avoid in a probiotic, that's really important as well, because there's a lot of, you know, compromising ingredients when you're looking and taking any type of vitamin. Remember, that's why we talked about the Polysorbate 80 yesterday. You want to make sure that you're avoiding these fillers and flow agents. Always if you're taking vitamins, make sure that they do not have those fillers and flow agents. Azrael, great question. I have a whole section in my book about night shift and all the tips if you work the night shift, how to, you know, mitigate your risks against the being in and working in the night shift. So that is something that's really, really important. There we go. Tips for shift workers, 6 tips for shift workers, all in my book there. So you can check that out. Again, it's The Lost Medicine, my newest, and it's my 3rd book now. And I'm very proud of this one. It took me like 5 years to write this one. Amazing. I had an amazing team that helped me, amazing editor. So yeah, okay, everybody wants to see the probiotic strains. I'm going to do that really quickly. And then I will give you information as to when our next show is. Okay, here we go. So my favorite strains of probiotics, and make sure that there's no magnesium stearate. So it has to be magnesium stearate free when you're taking any type of probiotic. Okay, is Lactobacillus acidophilus. Oops, there we go. Can everybody read that? I know I'm a lefty. Yeah, we got it. Lactobacillus acidophilus is the first one. And the second one is Bifidobacterium. Bifidum. Okay. Now, and remember, there should be no magnesium stearate. Okay, because that's just going to go on top of your probiotics so that it's going to decrease the absorption. Plus, it's never been tested. It is a chemical. It's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. So yeah, I do demos on magnesium stearate. If you've missed that video, make sure you check it out, magnesium stearate. Just look up my name and you're going to learn about why I don't like anything that has magnesium stearate in it. Okay, Lactobacillus acidophilus for the small intestine, Bifidobacterium bifidum for the large intestine. Amazing for your immune system. Remember, over 80% of our immunity comes from having that healthy gut. And it's something that we can continue the conversation when we come back live. And I will be back for our next live show in a couple weeks. So that's going to be Tuesday, September the 2nd. I'll be back, and we're coming back live. And that will be the Dr. Janine show. And yeah, of course, this is a lot more great questions that we have. London Life, best tips for smoking, getting off of smoking. One of the things that I used consistently was a high quality whole food B12 supplement to get my smokers, when they decided to quit, to get them off of the cigarettes. And addictions are hard. Again, circadian rhythms become really, really important to get your energy levels and those distractions from the things that we may be addicted to be able to do that and sort of get your body back in sync with nature is really, really important. yes, Elisa, I love this. Brain and gut health go hand in hand. Nerve pain regeneration, again, one of the two things that I first think about beyond grounding and sunlight exposure is B12 deficiency in your B vitamins, as well as omega-3s, DHA, really, really important. So eating your seafood, super important. Some people do need to supplement with a high quality DHA supplement as their fish oil. All right, I hope that helps. So many great questions. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you for the roses. I see that. Queen OC Hanta, I think I got that. So thank you so much. And it's Jess, thank you so much for all the lovely donations and all the hearts coming in. Jennifer, yeah, DHA changed your life. I know, it is a life changer. I'm telling you, when you're DHA deficient and then you start taking it, what it does for your hair and your skin and your nails, and it is amazing. Ramla, thank you for the roses. I see all these lovely, and the hearts as well. Queen of, Pocahontas. Oh, I didn't read that properly the first time. Queen of Pocahontas, thank you so much for all the donations. This is so great. It was so great to have you all here. Thank you. Vincent, thank you for tuning in again. Say hello to everyone. And yeah, it was great to have you. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. September 2nd. Tune in again for the next Dr. Janine show. If you have topics that you want me to cover, make sure you put it in the comments of my videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye.